Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some NBA with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. What's going on, guys? Now, my Charlotte Hornets, I thought we were pretty much done in free agency, that we weren't going to do much more, anything notable, but we did something notable yesterday, okay? We signed Christian Wood of the Philadelphia 76ers of their Summer League team to a 2-year deal, and, people out there, unless you watched Summer League or you watched the Sixers at all last year, you probably won't know much about Christian Wood, but this is by far the best move the Hornets made all offseason. Ramon Sessions signing was cool. The Roy Hibbert signing was cool. The Bellinelli trade was, these are all cool things that will all somehow help the Hornets. But this right here is hands down the best thing they've done, the most intriguing move they've done. Christian Wood, for those of you who are not familiar with the guy, let me get you up to speed on Christian Wood and who this guy is. Christian Wood is a power forward, 6'11" power forward, about 220 pounds, very lanky, kind of has the Kevin Durant, Devin Ebanks type build. Can handle the ball, can shoot, has a bit of post game, very athletic, can play above the rim, has a little bit of range, incredible athletic gifts, but it's the mental side of basketball that he needs to work on. Now, Christian Wood was a projected in 2015 in that draft. He was a projected first-round talent, and he slipped so far that nobody drafted him. And there was an infamous picture where Christian Wood was seen crying in the draft room. The NBA had essentially spit in the man's face and said that he would be nobody. That 60 times an NBA general manager said that we're not going to draft you on our team, and he wasn't drafted to an NBA roster. But when you watch the tape, when you watch the kid play, you can clearly see he's a first-round talent. That the fact that 19 or 20 guys got drafted over him is mind-boggling to me. But the guy can play, and you know what? Those NBA GMs said that they didn't think you could play, and at one point in time, people said, the Charlotte Hornets or the Charlotte Bobcats, you guys are a D-League team, you guys are garbage. So this is a match made in heaven. Two have-nots together in matrimony couldn't make the Hornets a better team. But anyway, all jokes aside, Christian Wood, brings a lot to the table for the Hornets. We're talking about a guy who is very mobile, moving side to side, has good timing, blocking shots. He's bringing a 7'3" wingspan to the table, has ball handling skills. His skill set is going to allow the Hornets to play in different lineups. When teams want to downsize, you can put him in at center. That'll stretch defenses out. That'll make Kemba Walker's life a little bit easier. You can play him at the 4 behind Marvin Williams or above Marvin Williams whenever Marvin needs a rest or Kaminsky needs a rest. If you want to, he has guard skills good enough to play the 3. He could play small forward. I saw him do it in the Summer League. He had a great Summer League. He averaged around 15 points a game, shot 57% from the field. And honestly, if you objectively watch the Sixers and you weren't like the NBA announcers who were just on a Ben Simmons love fest, Christian Wood arguably you could have said that he was the best player on the Sixers Summer League team. And the only reason that he even didn't wind up being on the Sixers is because they have so many big men. They have Simmons, they have Joel Embiid that's supposed to come back this year, they have Jahlil Okafor, they have Nerlens Noel, and they have the guy Dario Saric. So we're talking about 5 big men. 5 big men on the Sixers roster, and where would Christian Wood fit in all that? He probably didn't fit his long-term plan, so they didn't sign him. The Hornets gave him a 2-year deal, and he signed with the Hornets. Now this is going to be if Steve Clifford gives this guy an honest shot, because we know if you're a Hornets fan, Steve Clifford, he has a reluctancy to not play the younger guys at times. So I'm hoping that this Christian Wood project pays off for the Hornets, because the guy can play. And he's bringing a lot of attributes to the table that had we had these types of things last year on our roster, we would have beat the Heat in 5 games, no doubt about it, maybe 6, easy. Or we would have beat them point blank period. But I think we were the better team. We were better than the Heat. We just didn't have the front court size to deal with them. But guard wise, we were killing the Heat last year. So that being said, I think him coming to a situation where he's going to be developed by Patrick Ewing. Patrick Ewing, a guy who's had some success. Steve Clifford's been a guy that, through his very short tenure in Charlotte, not very short, but 3 seasons, we're 3 seasons into the Steve Clifford era in Charlotte, been to the playoffs twice, and throughout the course of those 3 years, we've seen guys that had down years come to Charlotte and revitalize their careers. We've seen Al Jefferson coming off of some not down years in Utah, but he had a bit of reputation to be kind of selfish with the ball and be a black hole and not be the best player defensively. Now, he didn't become this defensive player of the year or anything like that, but he was able to be in the starting lineup on a team that was one of the top defensive teams in the league, breaking the notion that you can't be a good defensive team with Al Jefferson on your roster. So there was that with Al Jefferson, and he actually had his best season as a professional his first year when he became he was 8th in MVP voting and finished ahead of the likes of Paul George and LaMarcus Aldridge that season. So let's not forget that either. So you had Al Jefferson having the best year of his career. Jeremy Lin, coming off of a down year in LA, comes in and has arguably the best season of his career, coming off the bench for the Hornets. Gets a big contract Brooklyn. He revitalized his career. Spencer Hawes last year was a throw-in. Really, he was a throw-in in the Lance Stevenson trade, and he wanted to becoming a vital part of the team. Troy Daniels, wasn't used a whole lot, but when he was used, a deadly 3-point shooter for the Hornets. So there's been some success in revitalizing certain guys with the Hornets, and Christian Wood could be a guy that is that for the Hornets. His skill set fits in perfectly with this team. When we look at the Hornets depth chart right now, we have a good 2 players at every position that can produce. At point guard, obviously we have the man, the leader of this franchise, Kemba Walker. Behind him, you have Ramon Sessions, a very good point guard, I believe, in his starts last year at the Wizards, because he had a lot of starts. John Wall was injured. Ramon averaged almost 15 points per game with the Wizards, so he was pretty good. And then behind him, you have Brian Robertson. Point guard, they're pretty good there. Shooting guard, Nicholas Batum will probably. Nicholas Batum be shooting guard. He's there. He's pretty good at his position. One of the better pick and roll guys at his position. Bellinelli, dead-eye shooter. Marco Bellinelli, who he was traded for, dead-eye shooter. Jeremy Lamb, good offensive option there as a third option, and then Aaron Harrison. So they're deep at the shooting guard. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist figures to be back in the lineup. You figure that you could alternate between Batum and Marvin Williams there. So we're good there. And at power forward, we have Frank Kaminsky, Marvin Williams, and then at center, you have Cody Zeller, Spencer Hawes, and Roy Hibbert. So you have a good amount of depth at around every position for the Hornets. Christian Wood isn't going to have this pressure to be some sort of rotation player. He can take his time, he can develop, and hopefully in due time, when the time is right, Steve Clifford gives this kid a chance to prove that he can play basketball at a high level in the NBA. And I'm rooting for him. My favorite signing so far by the Hornets. Good job, front office. Rich Cho, Michael Jordan, all you guys over there. So I love the signing, and I'm rooting for you, Christian Wood. So welcome to the Hornets, and all of us in Hornet Nation looking forward to seeing you put on teal and purple and doing some great things for our team this year. Let me know what you guys think about the Christian Wood signing. Do you think this could pay off for the Hornets down the road? And do you think he develops well under Patrick Ewing? Let me know in the comments down below. Take the time to subscribe, and you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Dania. So until next time, take care, guys.